name is Tiara.
I'm LaWanda.
I'm Tiffany.
And of course, I'm Ron, and I'd like to welcome two distinguished gentlemen, Terrence Shingler and Jason Billion. These two gentlemen are, well, I don't have to give them their records. They're going to tell you about themselves. Terrence, of course, has been on several episodes of Power, and so I wanted to introduce and bring him on today because, after all, we're right into PowerBook 2. I wanted to get his feel for it and let you guys know a little bit about Terrence, and let's just get to know each other. Jason, wonderful producer. He's got some projects going on that it's a must-see. He's well-known on Amazon Prime. So we got a nice powerhouse with us today. So tell us, Terrence, I know you were native born. How'd you get into acting?
Well, man, long story. I've been doing like stage plays and stuff off and on as a kid. Started doing singing, and I sung in this choir, this 350 voice youth choir in DC called the Children of the Gospel. And we sung every year at the Kennedy Center. I did the choir for like 2 years in 95, 96. But coming up, man, I was always trying to imitate people I saw on TV and all that, different voices. And but I really, I was doing local plays here in the area, starting back in like 2002. But then in 2013, I wanted to try to branch out into television and see if I could do it. Had to get past my fear. And so short amount of time, man, I've really been blessed, man, to work with some heavy hitters in the industry, man, and get a bunch of nuggets. But more so, man, I'm proud to be from the DMV area. Yeah.
So tell me, what was it like working alongside Reginald Cathy, the late Reginald Cathy, who was well known for Wire, and I know you and he worked together with in House of Cards. He's one of my favorites, by the way.
Yeah, man. God rest his soul, man. I have so much respect for him, man. Actually, when I did House of Cards, I was still real green to the industry as far as the TV side. I had no agent or representation at the time. I submitted for the role on like a local website here in the area, and got casted. And with that, had no idea that Jodie Foster was going to direct the episode. But yeah, and that's, like I said, I was green. I knew nothing. I just had the script sent to me, auditioned for it. Didn't think it was my best, and I was blessed enough to book the role. And like I said, I had no idea until I got the full TV script in my hand. I saw Jodie Foster directing the episode. I was like, wow. At the time, I heard about House of Cards, heard a lot about it. And that was my first time on set. But one thing I could say about Reggie Cathy, and he gave me this piece of advice that always sticks with me to this day. Because I was one that used to ask questions after every take. Hey, was that good? Was that okay? Was that fine? Mm-hmm. And as humble as he was, man, he pulled me to the side, and his voice is like, "Yo, brother, listen." He said, "Man, you're doing good. If they don't tell you to stop, then you keep doing it. Bleep." And so that taught me just to stay grounded and do it the way I think it should be done. And with any project, if the director wants you to make a small adjustment, they'll tell you. But if not, you keep doing it the same way, or add a little more color, this take or that take, and they want you to change it up, they'll give you those notes. And so from that day back in 2013, that stuck with me. Even with every audition I went on since then, if they don't tell you to stop, then you keep doing it. It's about your interpretation. Even with the audition, it's about your interpretation. You bring your best interpretation of how you think that scene should play out.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'm forever grateful to Mr. Cathy just for that little knowledge, because he could have easily blew up. I've been on sets with different people, and the attitudes just were wrong. And that I knew then, hey, that person won't be working. I'm talking about local actors here in the area. People were snobby, but he was very humble, and I'm grateful to him for giving me that little bit of information.
So as we move into PowerBook 2, you've had several opportunities with Power in season 6. I think it was episodes 12 and 15 or 16?
15.
15.
Yeah, it was only 15 episodes, yeah.
So working
So
with Courtney Kemp, tell me what you got out of that.
Man, first of all, Power's, that's me and my wife's favorite show on TV. There's so much to choose from, but working with her and the different directors I work with was amazing. Just in my part alone, it wasn't a huge part, but it stuck with people. She's very down to earth. We even talked about, she has, I think her mom or dad is actually from this area as well. We were talking about that because I was fortunate enough to get invited to the rap party and got to talk with her offhand. And, she was very, very, very down to earth, very straightforward. It's really like a family atmosphere when you on set, but, I had to stay professional, but on the inside, I'm a fan just like everybody else is. Right. I'm living my dream. I'm working alongside people I've seen on TV, and but it was very cool, man. Especially I got invited to the table read, for episode 12, and I mean I was in there with everybody, man, and I was just like, yo, is this real?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody was family oriented, man, and Courtney's awesome. The entire cast was awesome, man. Even Omari, Tariq. Man, with Joseph Sequoia, man. I got so much respect for him. He's so humble, man. Like, so humble. Nobody's ego got in the way. At least when I was on set, when I did the table read, nobody's ego was in the way. It was very family oriented. Even the casting director was at the table read that I auditioned with. And that was the first for me. I was just like, wow. And they showed you love, man. And it was an amazing experience.
Okay.
Did you get to interact with 50?
I saw him at the table read. I saw him from across the room on the other side of the table. I just gave him a salute, and he did his traditional. I mean, that was it. Like I'm not starstruck, but I'm like, I always look at people, the different actors. I say, hey, we're in the same business. You're just in a different tax bracket. If you get what I'm saying. Right. You have more notoriety, and you have a lot more fake followers because there's a lot of people out here that don't want to see you do well. And but he's very cool. Like I said, everybody was cool, and everybody know how crazy 50 is. Mm-hmm. But I guess I caught him on a good day. Everybody was strictly about business and reading the script. When it was time to read the script, you read the script. Afterwards, you got to joke around a little bit. But he was real cool. Real cool, man.
I guess you're good as long as you don't owe him any money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Run him his money.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if there aren't any questions, Jason.
Yes.
So, you and I have worked together a couple of times, and
yes,
I always appreciate the fact that, you are a straight shooter right from the hip.
Yeah.
I appreciate that with you. It either is or it isn't, and that's who you are.
Put it the way it is.
Tell us what you're into right now, man.
Oh man, right now I'm working on a project for a group named Intro. Intro was out in the 90s. They wrote like a bunch of Mary J. Blige records for Love No Limit. They wrote Reminisce. They wrote You Don't Have to Worry, Changes in My Life. And so long story short, their group went on to like do platinum sales, and like they have their own records like Come Inside and Let Me Be the One, Love Things. Yep. So they had a lot of their own little hits that did real good for them. And the lead of the group ended up passing away in 2001 from AIDS. And he died right around the same time that 9/11 happened and Aaliyah's death. So he was on the tail end of that. So no one even really knew he passed. So there's a the documentary is like just diving into the whole group, stuff that they went through and so forth. As you know, I already have the other film that's out. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on YouTube. It's called Anything But Love. Girl named Judy Blair is in there. Sadadex from Brand Nubians is in there. One of the members of Intro is in there. A bunch of different people. That's doing real good. That's, like I said, doing millions of views on YouTube and millions of views on Prime. So we've been doing real blessed with that. And of course, we have a project that me and you've been working on that's been sitting on the shelf for a minute. So I'm trying to finish that up, called Old AF, with Jadakiss is in the first episode. We got some other people that we're bringing to the table. So that's the sum of what I've been up to the last couple of years. Started back in the 90s, used to work for MTV, had another movie we did called Cold Feet that did Stars, and I did BT and ABC and a few different other spots, and some other projects along the way. So that's just me in the background.
Good roundup. I appreciate you both.
I appreciate you.
Glad to
Okay,
be here.
Ron, I see you. You got you some backup.
That's three.
That's what I said.
That's 3 on 3. So you know, guys, I've been taking it in power. I mean, Tiffany, this one right here, she's been beating me up. Okay.
Listen, I came on in the middle when he was talking, and I said, "Oh, I see what Ron trying to do. He was trying to give them a quick background on me and talk trash." I see.
All right, Tiara. So why don't you take us home and bring us into PowerBook 2?
All right. Well, just as Ron said, today we're talking about PowerBook 2. This is the series premiere of, the spinoff from the original series. So I think we were all anticipating, the premiere. So we'll get into it in just a second.
Louisiana where the last one burnt you, know that ain't cool. Wanna show you how I'm nothing like him, swear that's the truth, so you can't trust that
All right, we are back, and like I said, PowerBook 2 series premiere. It's all about Tariq, it appears. He is going to be leading now that Ghost is, dead and gone. Rest in peace. Tommy's heading out into the West Coast doing his own thing. So Tariq and Tasha are kind of left to pick up the pieces from the mess they created. And, from last season and the previous seasons, we've lost a lot of people. We know Raina's gone, Kanan's gone, Dre is gone, Spank, Ghost. So there was a lot of death. Tasha was left, getting cut out of the will. Tariq has to complete a 4-year program in order to get the money. So it's just like this big mess that they were left with. And it opens up kind of where last season finished off with Tasha in jail, and she's trying to figure out her situation. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Tasha before we go into
Please, let's do that. Yeah, you know Tasha's my.
You can't wait to talk about
I know he can't. Ron is always hard on Tasha.
Yeah, but I was a little irked with Tasha too. On
So
a couple
you're
episodes.
on my side. So you're gonna be on my side today.
I'm still.
I don't know if I'm completely on your side, but there were a couple times that I was irked by Tasha, because I was irked when she threw Tommy under the bus.
Oh,
Exactly.
I
was
couldn't take it.
like, okay, this is the second time she done snitched on Tommy.
And then dug a deeper hole for herself in doing so.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's like there's no loyalty.
No, I mean, well, the thing is, she'll throw anybody under the bus for Tariq.
Right. Yeah.
That's her ultimate goal is to protect Tariq.
And as far as
So I get that as a mother, I get that. However, Tommy is the wrong person to be snitching on. I thought when she was going to name somebody, when I saw Sax coming in, I thought she was going to name Sax. I was like, see, that's what you do. She should have thrown Sax under the
No,
bus.
I had
But
a feeling it was going to be Tommy. I had a feeling because
I didn't think so.
She likes to name people that can't speak for themselves. At first, she named Dre. We know he's gone. He can't speak his piece. So with her naming Tommy and she's knowing that he's left town, she knows that, he can't answer for himself, and they would have to hunt him down to get an answer.
But this is
But
our.
he took her down too.
But
He's always a threat. You only snitch on Tommy if he is dead. If
Right.
Tommy is alive, he is
No.
always a threat.
I got one better. Even if he's dead, you don't snitch on Tommy.
Exactly.
Okay? My point is, he already told you he was about to take you out.
Oh, he's going to.
And
now it's official.
And the word travels. So he will find out that, she named him. I mean, Terrence, help me out here. What do you think? I think she should remain in jail forever.
snitches get stitches.
That's what we talked about.
Snitches do get stitches.
That's all I can say, man. I wasn't expecting her to say that.
I wasn't either.
I'm watching, just like y'all. I thought she was gonna say somebody else, or they were at least gonna do like they used to do on TV and had that dramatic music and then cut the episode off. But I wasn't expecting that though, for sure.
She crazy.
I mean, for me, I'll say this. I feel like you took the least likable characters and gave them a show. It's a hard sell on this one for me. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I think I agree with you.
I don't think the show has gone far enough for me to give any true assessment of what the series is looking like. But I was kind of like, what we doing here? It's like we got all of the leftover pieces. I felt like Tasha herself is already out there. I think that she has done so much stuff over the years and tried to play the saint as far as, you know, within the actual show. You took Ghost out. You took Tommy out. You took Dre, who I didn't like, but was an interesting character, out. And I get where they're going with it. I was really surprised Mary J. Blige was able to hold her few lines together. And I like I said,
she did her thing.
Mary did her thing. And look, I was impressed because she did some work. I remember Mary was on Entourage like about 10 years ago. It was some of the worst footage I've ever seen on television. So I'm trying to say that, just being real.
Don't send her this clip.
Now, wait a minute, hold on. I didn't see that. I didn't see that episode, but I did see a part of, what was it, Mudbound?
I saw pieces of it.
Nominated for that.
Yeah, she was good in that.
Yeah, but you know what it is when you're playing yourself, and what I mean by that is that when the character is you, it's kind of easy to be you. When you kind of stretching outside of your zone and you have to put range involved in it, that's when we know where it's going. I didn't watch Mudbound, so I won't say anything negative about it from Mudbound. I've seen it in a couple of things. It's kind of like when Puff started rapping. I was like, what are we doing here? Let's leave that to the rappers. But
are you saying Mary's a queen pin?
I'm saying I don't see her carrying the Ghost character.
Okay.
Ghost. You got to think Amari Hardwick was like, he's a beast on camera. He just is. It's like we have
He's missed.
Yeah, I'm just saying now. Lorenz Tate is still in there. I'm a big fan of him. I think he'll be able to do some work on the show. I can't stand Tariq. I wish they'd have killed him in the first episode of the first season of the first show. So to me, what I'll say, and I'll wrap it up, is to say this: if they continue on the way they are, they're gonna have a hard road to toe to find the likable characters, so that you'll want to see more of what's going on. I'll be honest with you, I'm more intrigued with Mary's family than I was with the remaining story. They really should spend more time on that storyline, in my opinion. I think because it's the unknown.
It looked like they developed them. It looks like we're going to that King, his backstory. Woody McLean, or the one that played Bobby Brown, he has skills. Like he has a lot of range too. I was like, I think his character is going to be cool. It actually opened stronger than I thought it would be, because I even myself was like, would I be interested in watching Power without Ghost and Tommy? So I was like, but the way things are lining up, I think that it still will probably be interesting though. And the way they're setting Tariq up, they got him with like 2 different love interests. And then Effie might be in a picture too. I was like, they set him up like Ghosts. I said, now he's going to see for himself how complicated it is to be involved with 2 different type of women. Like the girl, Mary J. Blige's daughter is like Tasha. Yeah. And the girl on the campus is like Angie.
Lauren,
she's kind of.
I was agree. When I saw Lauren, and I'm like, okay, she seems like, somebody that he can hook up with. And then you got, what's her, Effie? And, she's pretty much like his mom. So it's going to be interesting.
Effie is a chick that stole from him. The other,
right. But I still,
Mary
what I'm saying is, I don't think he's through with Effie. I don't think he's through with her. Because he did ask the question, was this all, a fake, or, did you have anything for me? And of course she said, that everything else was business, but she did feel for him. So I think we're going to work back on that and see if there's anything else with the 2 of them, because I know he's got to go back to her sooner or later. But yeah, for product. So I, as far as I'm concerned, the show was, in the opening, well, not in the opening, but toward the middle or somewhere, kind of remind me a little about P-Valley, because you had a lot going on sexually. And I don't know if that was just happenstance or, I don't know. I guess that's where everybody's looking for these days, particularly since everybody's virtual. But, I think there's enough there to survive a season. And like you said, Jason, it would be interesting just how far we can take this, because how far can you carry Tariq in this kingpin, or even Tasha coming out and being a queenpin, which I don't know.
I think it's going to be about their relationship, because it looks like that Tariq and Tasha are going to be set up to be kind of like Monet, Mary's character, and Kanan, a mother and a son crime partnership. Because that was the thing that I noticed immediately, because he's looking, you could see Tariq is trying to figure out what's going on, looking at the father who's incarcerated, looking at the mother, looking at how she's handling the son, and thinking, oh, that's how me and my mom need to roll.
Okay.
I guess for me, I looked at the if you look at what they did with the Shy, right, and how the Shy had those characters that had to leave for whatever reason. When they came back, I was surprised, to be honest with you, that they were able to find that show and make it strong. I think was it Jacob Lattimore. I think he stepped up to the plate in a way, and I'm saying
he really did. He really did. The whole cast did.
They did, and I don't know that I'm seeing that same thing here, and it's too early to say. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna watch and see where they go with it. I think, like I said, the Mary J. Blige storyline could be interesting, because it's like a whole nother dynamic. It's not really redundant. I kind of feel like this whole thing that we're doing right now is kind of like when Ghost went to jail and he was in that same predicament as Tasha. Now we're going to watch. We know she's getting out of jail. You know what I mean? It kind of negates all that the ending of the last show was. I really thought when Tasha went to jail, I'm like, okay, at least she's going to burn out 5 years there, something like that. And then whatever happens after that happens. But I don't want to see Tasha back on the streets being the same character again, because where's the real growth in the show?
Well, trust me, she's not going to be out there long, because now that she done snitched on Tommy, they have approved,
right,
the third installment for Tommy's. And I think that now that they killed Ghost, and he knows that Tariq is behind it, and he's going to find out that they snitched and all that, that's going to probably be part of his storyline for his season. He's gonna be his spinoff. Yeah, he's gonna go after the family. He's gonna avenge Ghost's death. If Ghost is really dead, which he appears to be, but if he is gonna avenge that death. He's gonna avenge the death and the fact that she snitched. You know how he feels about snitches. He took his own dad out.
Yeah.
So bye Tasha and Tariq.
Yeah, those are good points. Now, I was wondering about Tariq too, with all that he has juggling this episode, because it's like he's trying to get back into school. His dad just died. His mom was in jail, and now he has the added weight of doing the assignments for this star basketball player of the school, and trying to also be in this advanced curriculum to graduate early. So I'm like, the way that this is set up, it's just not realistic.
Yep.
It's not. I just I can't relate. I don't think any young child that would have been in that situation could relate. And by adding these younger characters, I was wondering if they were trying to appeal to a younger audience. I don't know. I'm really kind of confused with the direction of the show. But it's still, like I said, it remains to be seen. It's a little early. But I am
I agree with you on that part. I think that they didn't leave any room for anything. Like you said, when it came to Tariq, he's tutoring, quote unquote tutoring. He's really doing
his work.
He's doing his work.
He's doing his own school. He's doing his work.
Right.
Exactly. So I'm like, I think that when they first started the show, it was a little tighter with the way that they were kind of running storylines. I think this year for the storyline so far, I'm like, the Tariq storyline needs to be tweaked. If whatever they do, they do. But I think that they need to kind of, like you said, they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 100 different things, and they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 100 different things, and they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 100 different things, and they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 100 different things, and they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 100 different things, and they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 100 different things, and they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 100 different things, and they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 100 different things, and they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 100 different things, and they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 100 different things, and they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 100 different things, and they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 100 different things, and they tried to make this character where he was able to juggle 1 to kind of prove something that's not really proving anything, because the guy is not realistic. There's no way anybody would be able to run drugs, do their college education, do their friends' college education, work on their mother getting out of prison. All this within I think they introduced too much too quickly. I think they should have. You almost should have reset when they began this season where there was no trouble, and then you see his problems accumulating so that you can see the character start to get worn down throughout the process. But what you've gotten is everything in a ball, and you're saying, like you just said, how in the world could you even get rolling with all of that in the beginning?
Yeah, I think they're trying to make him like. Go ahead.
No, I'm pointing to you because I think you can say what I was going to say.
Yeah, they're trying to make him like a baby Ghost. This is Ghost Jr.
He's Ghost
right?
1.0. He's what Ghost and Tasha's kid. So they're trying to show that.
They're setting him up to, he's supposed to be super smart and super crafty and supposedly more streetwise and savvy than both of his parents. That's the setup. Now, whether or not that's true, because I think he's still very naive.
But we left him as a bad boy, and I think that let's do one or the other. He's a good boy or a bad boy. Which one is it going to be? I like to see him continue from Power, because he was rather ruthless in Power, and he is the guy that everybody loves to hate. And, let's continue on that side. I don't know, but I like what everyone has said. You can't be all things to all people. It's just going to wear you down in the process of trying to watch and trying to understand where the show is going. So it'll be interesting. I like to see him get kicked out of school again and just be, go back to the school of life and do what he had set out to do in its last season of Power.
Mm-hmm. If he got kicked out of school, he doesn't get the money. The whole thing is that at the end of his school thing, he gets ghost money. So he's never going to.
But there's always to make that money, and his father proved it. So that's my point. You got 3 years, at least, bare minimum, because if he finishes that conical thing, class, then he can literally graduate in 3 years, and that'll put him closer to, being able to take care of his sister and his grandmother. But my point is, hey, get back into the school of hard knocks and go do your thing, because that's what you want to do anyway. I mean, he raised $500K to get his mom a new lawyer, method man.
He didn't raise her. He gave him $50K.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, said, look, math.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is, he gave him $50K, but he gave him that was pretty quick. You had to be doing some drug dealing to be getting that kind of money that fast. So
well, I was talking to my son about that. He had money left over from when he was dealing with Dre. Remember, Dre had given him product and stuff. I'm sure he was stacking during that time. Because remember, all that stuff happened within a short period of time. You see, we haven't even had the funeral for Ghost yet.
Right.
So this is just a matter of days. So he still has money left over from, dealing with Dre.
I think it was slick that he went on social media.
That was a good idea.
He kind of cornered Davis. And
he blew up his mentions.
Tasha.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Davis.
Now, I said, there's a couple of holes there. You take somebody else's IG, you run out, you say a couple of statements, and all of a sudden this guy is forced to do your job. I didn't purchase that either. I just thought that she left a lot of holes in this episode. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's a popular basketball player. He said he had a lot of followers and everything. He took over his IG Live, and that's how he got the attention using,
That's what I took from it, man.
Yeah,
Jason, I respect you, Jason. You throwing punches, man. You throwing you keeping it real though. That's
right. He is.
But no, I like Tiffany said. What I took from it when I saw that the whole social media thing, it goes to show it's almost like a hashtag. You hashtag something with the whole girl dad thing. Mm-hmm. When Kobe, RP Kobe, when Kobe first posted the girl dad picture, it was a hashtag. And people, because it was Kobe, people follow Kobe and figured out who this person is. And so that's what I think, that's what I got from it, because this basketball player is popular.
Yeah.
Whoever's on this page, like, oh man, who this guy?
Yeah, but think about it like this. That's what gets you to the conversation of it. But him saying he said he's going to accept the case, that's not a pressure point. They show no pressure point as to why Method Man actually folded and took the case.
Well, if you read the comments, I
No, actually he did.
Because I watched it again, and when you read the comments, like, his wife, everybody was on meth and was like, oh, this is huge, this is huge, you should do it. So he started getting outside pressure. And I think the buildup, like, wow, I could really be successful. Like, I could be that dude if I take this case.
Public opinion too. I think
Yes.
that's it. It's
But Tariq mentioned that to him as well, because we know that Method Man, his ego is this whole side of New York. So, when he said to him, he said, look, if you can win this, I mean, essentially you are untouchable as a defense attorney. So and when you saw his face, he read that, he got that. So I think, he's going to take the case because he realized the potentiality of what he can become should he win this case.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
so attorneys they're taught to lie even for clients they know are guilty.
Which what I didn't understand about Tamika, and I wanted to, Tamika's coming off all this truth and honesty bull. I mean, we do know that attorneys are lied to all the time, and in most instances, they know that their client is lying. But she wanted to.
But most of them are not trying to put their reputation on the line.
Well,
have somebody swear under oath, and they lying. Like nobody's trying.
Was already fired last season. We know he's getting on thin ice.
But then again, take a look at the forensics. The forensics said that it had to have been from a guy 5'11" to 6'2", and Tariq is none of that. He doesn't even reach 5'11".
You know what? That and I pointed that out. Method Man, I looked it up. Method Man 6'3". Exactly. Method Man looked like he was about at least a half a foot or more taller than him. Listen, it's the little things. It's the details. The devil's in the details.
Exactly.
But I think he might be at least 5'11", because Omari's about what, 5'10", Terrence, and or is he?
He's short. He's short.
That was crazy. Omari looked like
5'8". I would say 5'8". I'm about 6'3" myself. I would say 5'8".
Okay, because I was going to say, because Michael. How tall is Tariq? How tall is Michael Rainey Jr.?
He's probably to me about the same height as Ghost, maybe a little taller.
Like 5'9"?
I give him 5'10" at best.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy for me to say they short, because I'm taller than them, but he's probably a little taller than Omari.
According to Google, he 5'8".
Listen,
I'll say go to Google. Right. I'm about to Google it myself.
I'm about to pick up my phone and hit it up. But
how tall is?
That's exactly what he looks like, and that's my point. They don't realize that the details that people watch. People are the biggest critics. When I go to the comment section for my movie, people rip things apart. You're like, hey, come on, man, chill. Nah, there's no chill. People are watching everything. And so you can't throw out certain things like a 5'11" to 6'1" and have a kid that everybody knows is 5'8".
Black folks, we the most critical.
Yeah, we hard.
Right. I mean, I think that's what when we look at the comments of our viewers, one of the things they love about our show is that we come real. We talk about those things that most people, they just kind of, we pull it out. So I really appreciate how we're bringing it today, because we're just telling the truth, and you can't assume that your audience is ignorant to the fact, because we're going to look up stuff. That's what we do.
So I was wondering how you guys felt about the DNC character Stephen Ott, who he was in last season as well, but him going so hard to kind of defend Ghost's reputation after he has died, I guess because of what it brings up in regards to the Democratic
That's Ghost. Really, and I told my son, because we had the same conversation. He was just like, well, I don't understand. And I said, no, you got to understand how politics work.
Right.
If all this stuff is found out about Ghost, that falls back on the DNC, because they like, you didn't even vet this guy.
Exactly.
And that's the fallout they don't want. They don't care about Ghost.
I mean, but is this not art imitating life?
Yes, it is. And that's why I told my son, I was like, listen.
Because we're living it right now.
We are living it wholeheartedly. So you know, that's exactly what art is. Art is life and right.
But I'm kind of with the DNC on this for Ghost, because I think it's real savage that you had both Tasha and Tariq tarnish Ghost's reputation and his legacy. She still has another child who has to get, you know what I mean? Because she went through most of the series protecting Ghost in the name of her children.
Oh, I agree with you.
Only to turn around and totally trash him. And I still don't buy the reason for Tariq killing him, because his perception that Ghost threatened him, he didn't threaten him like that.
No,
so it's basically
he put his hands on his mom too. But
I agree with mom, but putting hands on the mom for one, but he looked her in the face. He looked her in the face and said, he looked me in the eye, and I know he was gonna kill me if I didn't take this deal.
I agree with that. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I don't. Ghost is missed on this season, and it's and then the way he was depicted in the courtroom too, because half of that stuff was lies too. Like we do know Ghost was a beast. We know he did his dirt, but a lot of the stuff they were pinning on him, he did not do. And yeah, so I agree with y'all. Like he's getting this bum rap, and what I over this season with Tariq, I think he's gonna end up like, you know, he's growing up. He's a kid, so he's gonna start seeing some things and understanding how complicated his father really was, and understanding some of the choices that he made. And I feel like he's going to regret that he killed Ghost.
That's a good point, because even in that book that they bring up where he's supposed to have read for that advanced class, he talks about death and how the character in that book made a choice and how you have to live with the consequences. And so I'm like, well, this is probably a reflection of how he's going to start to feel, because he did make a choice, and his consequences, it seems like he was saying that the character was hated by a lot of people, not because of the fact that he committed murder, but the fact that, you know, it was the fact that he committed murder, and rather not the fact that the person
actually started reading a little bit of it last night. I wanted to check out the book itself, and I agree pretty much with what Tariq was saying, basically about the book. And one of the things too, you know, you kind of learn, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
I think the show would have did better if they had like jumped 2 to 3 years ahead of time. They could have started with Tariq already on top, kind of like he had found a way to steal Ghost's esteem, and then you could have seen where he had pitfalls from there. I think what they did was they front loaded this thing too heavy with a lot of problems. There's too much chaos to follow. It's so many different things intersplicing at the same time that it makes it hard for you to follow the storyline. I think that episode was 1 hour and 7 minutes, and it felt like it was 2 hours long, because they had jammed so much in there about, like you just said, the responsibilities of Tariq. Then we got Mary J. Blige. Then we got Tasha fighting for her freedom. And the way that they were trying to put all these different dynamics together, it doesn't leave you as the like I said, me as a viewer, if you came 3 years later or something like that, Tasha's getting out of jail because of, you know, she actually was able to get out on some legitimate way. And then you see her and Tariq coming together to build this empire. And then maybe Mary J. Blige is the nemesis because, you know, they got a rival thing going on. That to me would have been a way tighter way of introducing this new, I guess, this new iteration of the show. But the way the show is going right now, I'm like, all right, y'all got to clean some of this up just so I can follow and like some. I gotta have somebody to like. I can't find a likable. I mean, does anybody have a likable character that I'm missing out on?
Yeah, because Sax, they even given us his backstory too in this episode, and Sax wasn't exactly my favorite character either.
Nope.
No, I think you're right about that. There isn't any. I mean, I think previously, even though a lot of the characters, everybody did dirt, everybody was murderous, lying, you know, drug dealing, something, but at least they had something about them that you liked, that you respected. But because all of these people that are left over, they seem to be like the people that we hated before previously. You can't just build a show on the fan, you know, the characters the fan hate.
Yeah.
And
or at least
it's hard.
And Tiffany and I, you know, we kind of went round robin last season with Tariq. I think Tariq should have taken the L gone to jail and let his father do what his father might have been able to do, you know, in that position. I mean, you have to realize, you know, what, you got a choice of killing your dad? You don't think your dad would have tried to help you? And, you know, the fact that you're a good kid, there was, I'm not saying he had a reason to kill, but certainly when you look at it from, you know, a perspective of the
Ghost had a good point. I mean, he killed his sister's killer. Like,
exactly. And
a jury would listen to that, and it would probably be empathy for him for that.
Exactly.
And I think that's what kind of really irritates me about this show, is because like the characters are so like greedy and self-centered. They always think they can do better than what's before them. And that was especially like true with Tasha, because she had like the best possible deal at first, and then she declined that deal and ended up getting something worse. And then
she declined it because it would have to name Tariq. That's the only thing that I get, because
this boy has to accept responsibility for something.
Oh,
like,
I agree.
But they get through life like this.
No, and that's what Ghost had said last season. He was just like, it's time for us to let Tariq take the L. But the thing was with Tasha is going to protect Tariq at all costs. That's what it came down to. It. The deal, she was ready to take the deal until they said you got to name the shooter. But that's when she was like, "Oh, you're fired."
Look now, though, she got the Rio case over her, so it's like you keep thinking there's something better. You keep thinking you're gonna get off. You think you're gonna walk out of this clean, but you always end up in a worse situation. And that's kind of like really irritating me, because I'm like, I get you a mother and you trying to protect your son, but Tariq continues to dig himself in holes.
That's what I was going to say.
What they got going on, so he's going to end up in jail eventually anyway.
That's what I was going to say. All the chaos that's going on is their fault. It's their fault. He's like, I got to get this money to protect Grandma and Yaz, but you killed your dad. Like, you put them in that predicament. Your mom is in jail because she lied for you. Like, all of this is your fault. That's what I was telling my son. I was like, this is Tariq's fault, because he was saying it was all Tasha's fault. I was like, Tasha is to blame too, but it's Tariq's fault. I said, because he even got Raina killed.
Well, we know.
So a lot of stuff can be attributed to Tariq.
And I never liked him since. I think that he sat there and watched his sister get killed like a punk. Yeah. And like I said, how do you ever respect a character like that? Listen, I'm a New Yorker. I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know how you roll. I mean, let's put it this way. I don't know how you get away with that. I see some grimy things in my life, but like, who sits there and watch? If somebody pull a gun on my kids or my sister or anybody, I'm jumping out there regardless. I'm gonna give it a shot to run. I'd rather take the bullet.
And that's your twin too. You know, that's your twin. So
and you are the devil. She's the angel. You the devil. You watch the angel get murdered because of you. Mm-hmm. There is no correlation in this situation.
But, you know, but Tiffany wants to blame again Tariq, and I gotta blame Tasha, because Tasha was the one getting him involved, helping him out.
Oh yeah,
I don't like her either.
But that was not Tasha's fault that Raina got killed.
No,
and then Ron, you want to go there? Since you want to go there, Ghost was the head of the household, and I know that the brothers are not gonna. He was the head of the household, and a lot of times he was running behind Angie. He could have had his foot up Tariq's butt.
Nah. I disagree with that one.
Let me tell you what it's all about, Jason.
The brothers always disagree about Ghost.
You can't get over the fact that Ghost had an affair with girls.
It's not just an affair.
Ghost was duplicitous. Don't get me wrong. He was definitely duplicitous.
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, he always had his family's best interests in hand. And I always felt his character, no matter what happened to any of them, he generally would just jump right in the game and go ahead and get the killing or whatever he had to do to make it right for his family.
Right.
So Tasha, to me, was always a selfish case. She was always putting other people in peril. She was always willing to sacrifice people within her family. I'm not talking about outside the family. She had no problem setting Ghost up. She has no problem setting Tommy up. She has no problem she killed Lala. I'm saying, I mean, this is a grimy chick right here.
She showed herself to be grimy and stuff, but Ghost was grimy too, though.
Nah, not to his people, though. He was never grimy to his people. He was grimy to people outside of his people.
Because I knew Jason would have my back. This is what I wanted him on. Because I knew he'd have my back with you. See, I I needed help with you, Tiffany, and Jason just threw it down.
I ain't never scared.
Jason got my 6.
You from Brooklyn? Hey. I appreciate that. I love New York. I'm from Philly.
Yo, love for Philly. I see Philly, just like DC, Philly, New York, we all got similarities. We all come from a lot of the same things. So I love the North. You get down south, we got different conversation. I like it, but it's not the same.
Terrence, what do you think? Yeah, because you've been quiet on the Ghost Tasha thing and the situation with Tariq. Like, what do you think?
Well, I think I think how some writers are. Certain writers throw everything at you at one point to draw you in, and then they slow it down as the season goes on. They've already established this is such and such. Okay, you got married. You know she crazy, but you don't know how crazy.
Right.
So they threw everything at you this first episode. Then the next episode, few episodes, they're gonna focus on certain characters. One episode is just gonna be about maybe Mary's background, I believe, and then maybe one episode is gonna be about Method's background. They're gonna probably show their backstory, like they got in the Sachs, Sachs backstory a little bit. I think this first episode just to keep you watching, because y'all gonna watch the next episode. Y'all gonna watch the rest of the season to see how it's gonna play. So I think they reeled us all in, because like I said, I'm watching it just like y'all. They reeled us all in, showed you different points. Boom, boom, boom. What's this? What's that? What's that? Then they're gonna slow it down, and then break down every character for certain episodes. It's gonna focus on certain characters. That's what I think. That's what I think.
That's a good prediction. I do feel like it was a little overwhelming, but you're right. They will slow it down eventually.
Because you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to slow it down now. Because I think it'll be too much for our heads to take.
Yeah, it's hard to digest when you got all these different interweaving storylines.
Yeah.
But you guys want to, based on any of the clips that we've seen from this season, do you have any predictions on how things are going to turn out? Because I have one. I'll throw it out there. I seen Lorenz. He pops up in an episode where it looks like he is talking to the DNC guys, and it looks like he's saying he knows something, and he wants to say it, but they're not going to believe him. And so I think that now that Governor Tate is the governor, I think that he might be pulled in to help Tasha with her situation. Given, they have history with that family, I think he might have a role in trying to get Tasha free. But that's all I can think now.
Well, I'm gonna go real crazy with this. I think with the buildup of Lauren and Effie, I think Tommy comes back and Tasha is out.
I think that's gonna be part of his story. I definitely think that he's gonna come back for Tasha and Tariq.
I think Tariq is survivor, but I think Tasha's out.
That character Lorenzo, that is Mary's husband in this show, I'm wondering if listening for Tariq reaching out to him. I'm thinking, I don't know if that's for maybe some protection for him, or maybe some protection in regards to his mom while she's locked down. I know that men and women are not typically locked up in the same quarters, but maybe he has like a cousin or something that's locked down that can help Tasha, be connected in while she's in jail. I was just trying to think of why he would want to reach out or find information about Lorenzo, and even as far as that family, because it looks like the son, Kane, who was played by Woody, he looked like he just don't play, and he's telling Tariq at one point, like, what happens in this house stays in this house. So I think Tariq, he might be bumping heads with him a lot.
One of the things I was telling my son that I think is going to happen, once they find out that Tariq, of course, is the son of Ghost and the nephew of Tommy. Ghost and Tommy were feared in the street. Their reputation. So I'm wondering if Ghost and Tommy's reputation alone will, give Tariq a little bit, once they find out who he is, a little bit of street clout protection.
That's a good point.
Fear,
Too. You see, when he showed up to the party, he looked completely out of his element because you know that, you know, he's the son of Tommy and Ghost, but the son of Tommy and Tasha and Ghost, but he was very sheltered from the street life. And so for him to have like these notorious kind of parents, but he looking like, you know, all scary walking up into the hood. I'm like, Tariq, you better snap out of it because they're gonna pick up on your discomfort and prey on you. So he better get it together dealing with that type of family because he will get sniffed out quick.
Yeah, I think he was doing research because I think he wants to pick up where Ghost left off. He's not interested. He's only going to school to get the trust fund money, but he wants to be the kingpin. He wants to take Ghost's place. So he's doing research. I think what's interesting is Ghost was trying so hard. And one of the reasons that he did put his hands on Tasha was because Tasha allowed him to sell drugs. Yeah. And so I thought about that when Mary drove Kane, or I think her name is Monet, drove Kane to kill somebody. And that's what Ghost is trying to avoid.
Right.
The mother being complicit into turning the son into a criminal, into a murderer. And that's exactly what's happening. So that's what I see is the juxtaposition between where I think Tasha and Tariq are going and where Mary's character and Kane already are. And Tariq looking at them thinking, this can be my connect.
I agree with that. Tasha was filed for putting Tariq onto the game. And that was, like you said, part of the reason why the Ghost put his hands on her. But the other reason he put hands on her is because she threatened his freedom. When she said she was going to tell the feds about him killing Terry Silver, that's when he snapped too, because he's like, you threatening my livelihood here. I mean, you knew he was getting ready to make that announcement that he was going to run for lieutenant governor. And when she said that, he was like, oh, she getting in the way of my future. So that's what made him snap.
The whole empire can fall for that. Because once you open, the whole empire can fall for that. Can fall from that, because once you open up that can of worms, you're putting them back.
But the whole point was they were all trying to stay out of jail, right? But a lot of times, I mean, it's like he said, these are two unlikable characters because it was kind of their actions that made the whole that made the whole thing fall apart.
That's true.
And the fact that you now have the show built around them, it just makes it hard to stick with it. I'm gonna hang in there.
I love Tommy.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching Tommy's spinoff for sure. That's my guy. But this one, I'm still trying to see where it goes. Yeah, so I'm gonna stick with it just out of love for the show and where it came from.
We miss Power. Everybody miss Power. So
yeah, they have some work to do to keep people engaged though.
But that being said, we talked a lot about the pace, and maybe the pace is different because they want to distinguish this from Power. That it's a spinoff, but it's not the same show, so it's gonna look and feel different.
Any comments, Terrence?
Oh, well, like I was saying, you were asking like who you think is going to take, bite the bullet. I think Cooper Saxe is probably going to die. That's just speculation, because he's been trying so hard, to, take the family down. I think they're gonna get at Cooper towards the end. I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Or they're gonna have, my son's prediction for Cooper was that they're gonna have some, because they have Cooper by the balls pretty much, because Cooper, they know that Cooper was there. Well, Tariq knows that Cooper came to the truth. So my son was like, that's like, they're going to use that as leverage to keep Cooper, like Angie was the inside man. That's how they were always Ghost was able to find out what was happening with the feds and this, that, and the other, because Angie was feeding them. My son said he feels like Cooper is going to be the one doing that for Tasha and because he has to. You see, his family already thinks he's a screw up.
Right.
Yeah.
And his little brother, he won't lose that job. So he's so proud.
Well, that's a good point.
And everything, and stay out of jail himself. Probably will one. And he's gonna turn into a mole for Tariq and Tasha gonna use that as leverage.
Jason.
Yeah, Tasha got her into that part with her saying that, and I asked him to. Had she just left that part out, she might have been good.
Yeah, I was like, Tasha, she's being real stupid.
I think, in my opinion, the only way to save the show, like I said, there's got to be a contentious relationship between Mary and Tariq's character. It's got to be a situation where it's a near war between the two in order to keep some kind of a workable dynamic for the show. I think that they should focus more on Mary cutting into their business and taking over the streets, and she's kind of the one that Tariq has to deal with, but she don't like him, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of stuff that everybody knows about Tariq. His reputation preceded him in the street. He was already, involved with the mobsters. He was involved with a lot of issues with 50 in him. People would know who he was if he were in the game. So there would be a lot of reasons for her not to trust him. There would be a lot of reasons for her to say, he's not a solid dude. I don't want you putting nothing in his hands, and it causing a rift. So I think that the characters have to establish with it some sort of this beef between these two characters, or else I'm not really thinking that this show is going to survive at least as long as Power did, Power Book 1, because I think that Book 1 at least it left enough dynamics on the table. You already knew that Angela and Ghost were already kind of in play in the episode 1. You already knew that him and Tasha had a couple of issues in episode 1. You saw that he was trying to make the transition from the streets to being a businessman. There were a lot of easy dynamics that you got to kind of see roll out over time, and the time wasn't rushed because it was so much that they could do with just establishing those pieces. But with Tariq's character, like I said, since they front loaded it, it's kind of like you got to work backwards, and I don't know how they're going to pull that off.
We'll see.
Good points there. You guys have any other closing remarks before we wrap up?
I'm good. I'm just glad to have had some more testosterone to deal with. Around.
To counter us.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yes, I did enjoy it. It's nice always having some educated brothers on to give us their input, their perspective. Definitely appreciate having you guys with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. It was entertaining.
Yeah, this is fun. Also, before I go, I wanted to thank, special shout out to Arnold Key, who introduced me to you, Ronald. He's the one that told me about you.
Yes.
So thank you for the invite. I appreciate this. This was a lot of fun hearing the critics. This is fun. This is fun. And man, hopefully we can work together at some point. Man, I'm interested in looking at your stuff, man, and
Hey, listen, as far as my stuff, let's work with the same Mary. we all in the same Mary. We should be building and networking anyway. So
exactly right. So look, after today, both of you are spotters. So you're more than welcome.
LaWanda about to say, because LaWanda and I also are writers, and we're working on some scripts and things and stuff too. So.
Well, hey,
love to work with you guys.
Look, this is why I wanted to bring us all together too, because there's a lot of talent over here at the Spot Real Talk. And, it's all about growth and where we go forward. It's all about moving forward. And if you don't start thinking that way now, you run up on another year and you're going, well, what are we going to do? My thing is you bring talented groups of people together and you never know. But the whole point is bringing us together and let's work on some things. Jason, Terrence, Tiffany, LaWanda, Tiara, we got brains. And me, Jason, I got the ability for video, I can shoot, I can do production work, as you can see. So look, man, let's not let this train go by. Let's go train together and move forward.
Look, they say you either building or you destroying, right? Let's build something.
There you go.
I'm all about building up people, man. Don't tear nobody down.
Ron has my number, so anybody who's on here, get my number from Ron. And if y'all want to create some sort of a phone setup, so we know who's who and what's what. That works for me too. So either way, you can put my name and number out there, and let's just build. Like I said, I'm trying to put out a number of projects for the next 3-4 years. So I'm like on a steamroll mission. I got literally 3 things in rolling right now that I'm trying to wrap up over the next 6 to 8 months. And so I'm in hustle mode. That's just me.
Well, that's funny because we've been working behind the scenes on that too.
And I'll make sure that everybody has your connect, Jason.
Yeah.
And, and Terrence as well. So, just keep it moving.
COVID kind of messed things up for me a little bit because, New York, a lot of the shoots, because I'm here in Maryland, a lot of the shows in New York only want actors that are in New York. So, so right now I'm unavailable, but if a show really wants you, they'll make a way for you to, put you in a place or something to stay. But, it's, because, shows. So that's part of the downfall, but, I'm gonna be all right. And if it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. That's how I look at it.
Cool.
Just gotta be ready.
We wish you both much success.
Definitely.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you. Same to you guys. Like I said, let's wish us all success. I said, we don't know where the networking and businesses go for everybody. So
that's true. That's true.
All right. Well, I just want to send a special thanks to everybody who tuned in with us today. Catch us back next week. We'll be reviewing the same show, PowerBook 2, doing episode 2. And also make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell so that you get alerted every time we post a video. And please let us know in the comments how you felt about this premiere. So I'm sure you guys will have a lot to say. We are also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow us there and we will give you a follow back. So if anybody doesn't have anything else to add, I think we will wrap it up. All right. So have a good night, everyone, and thank you.
Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
There was a time that I liked you, despite you being a jerk, and I knew it. Been here before and I knew it, but you were so damn cute. Despite you having a girl in your life, I knew it. Been here before and knew it. He would say, yeah, we live together, but we're not together. Yeah, we have kids, but it's been over. Yeah, she still want me, but I don't love her. Whatever. He would say, yeah, we live together, but we're not together.